Subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss another update from India Forums.
Language is not the problem. In the sense, language is no barrier here. अगर मुझे अच्छा content तमिल में मिलेगा या मलयालम में मिलेगा, हिंदी में मिलेगा, I really would want to like to explore that. Allu Arjun, Ramcharan, Junior NTR. I want all of them from us. I want everybody. In Tamil we have Talapati, Tala. Ajay sir, he watched one of my interviews of KGF, and then he's like, I want to meet this girl and have another movie.
So unless any of y'all are living under a rock, I'm sure everybody's hit by the absolute massive KGF wave that continues to go on. And we are just very fortunate that we have with us the leading lady of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, Srinidhi Shetty. Srinidhi, welcome to India Forums.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So of course, just let's start with the absolute madness that, surrounds this film, being the pan-India film that it is and everything. So just tell me, how crazy it has been from being in Chapter 1 and now in Chapter 2, the 4-year journey so far.
Wow, it's not been as crazy, but it's been very beautiful for me because my first movie, so a lot of memories and long association since 2016 till 2022. Yeah. So 6 long years of association. The bond is different, the comfort is different, the experiences are precious, the moments that I spent on set are golden. So I think it's a fun journey. There is actually, it's crazy in a way because big mammoth movie and the sets and the destruction that's happening in the sets and the movie. So it's beautiful to watch also and also be a part of it. So yeah, it was absolutely a pleasure.
Correct. And as you just rightly mentioned that, it is 6 long years. But I think, you have taken probably the biggest risk an actor can take, going on to dedicate 6 long years to 2 films, especially considering that Chapter 1 was a debut. It was not that you were already established in the acting industry. So how do you assess that? And, what led you to do that? Because I'm sure you've gotten a lot of offers in these past few years. So why did you not take up any of them? And why did you just devote everything to this?
So I got KGF movie, and somewhere deep down I wanted this movie to come out and probably then do the rest of it because this movie was so beautiful, the story was so beautiful, the making was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Unfortunately or fortunately, it got divided into 2 parts, which again delayed a few more years because KGF 2 had to happen and the pandemic happened for everybody. The waiting and the period was longer, but again it's not a small movie. It's a movie that's coming in 5 languages. A lot of work had to be put into it, and the movies like this will take time, which I had already accepted that it does take time, and you can see the results, and that's why you've got to be patient with this. I did have a couple of offers that came my way. Sometimes it did not work out. Sometimes I did not find the script that great or exciting enough for me to explore that character or be a part of it. So some of things did not fall into place. I think in mid 2019, I really enjoyed listening to a script in Tamil, Cobra, which I did take it up. That's the only one movie that I took it up. So all I wanted was to release these 2 movies. I mean, just this. I wanted these 2 movies to come out, and then probably wait for other projects that if it comes my way.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. And what is also fascinating is when I saw Chapter 1 and now I'm going to see Chapter 2, the introduction of your character was so fantastic. Like, it was so fierce. You are at this very bratty girl from yeah, exactly. It was amazing. But what I also felt a little let down by is by the end of the film, I didn't really see you too much. So because, considering how fierce your character was introduced, and then I assumed that, probably it's going to be something for Chapter 2. It's going to be left alone for that. But was it something that was always pre-planned and you knew about it, or was it just something that happened later?
So as I said, it was one movie. I knew my arc, like my character's arc.
Yeah.
How it will start, how it will reach an interval, and how it will end.
Right.
But then the movie got divided into part 2, so obviously they had to keep the introductions part in the part 1 so that people get settled into the world of KGF, that this is KGF. So obviously a lot of things got to be chopped, and the best part got saved to part 2.
Okay.
So the best part that's coming and that you all will watch is in part 2. Part 1, I would say that it is just an introduction. Like they say, like they say, the trailer hai, picture abhi baki hai.
Right.
So obviously my character, and there's many more characters, like there's the Guru Pandian character, my father's
Yeah.
character, Rajendra Desai, and all of these
Correct.
characters are, actually most of the characters were just introduced, that these are this.
Yeah.
You will see the shades, you will see they are either powerful or they are weak. All of that you will see in part 2. So I knew this because once they decided that the 2 parts will come out, director sat down with me and he did tell that, since we're doing it into 2 parts, the most of it will get shifted to part 2, and just a brief period of time that Reena will get in part 1. I knew it, but it is a good thing that your movie is coming in 5 languages and it is coming in 2 parts. I think that's a blessing. So we know the end result, and I have complete faith in Prashant Neel. So yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, that absolutely makes sense. And I think that there's one little criticism when it comes to such huge films. I'm not talking specifically about KGF because, as you rightly mentioned, that it was always known that it's a two-part film, and your character does have a full arc in the second part. But I think in the rest of these pan-India mega movies, I think if there is one criticism that is given to them, it has to be how some female characters are so vapid. They are sometimes very irrelevant, sometimes not really contributing the same amount, which is then led on the male star of that particular film. What is your take on that?
So I don't want to generalize. I feel whenever somebody writes a story, especially the director, because he's the captain of the ship, he's leading. He's leading that story. He's leading everything. He has a vision. He has written the story. The story belongs to him more, because I think even I would not know Reena as much as my director knows, because he's written it. He knows every part of it. So it's the director's. It's a story how you want to tell. For example, my movie, I can only talk about my movie. So my movie,
Right.
KGF, here is something about a mother and a son, who mother wanted her son to promise that, you got to be wealthy and all of it. So the movie is about Rocky, how Rocky grows and grows up to be, what he aims at, what are the struggles that he went through, and what are the obstacles that he will get in part 2, which you will see. So from Rocky's perspective, the movie has come out. So according to in that, now I understand that we all want to see the female characters being strong and all that. And in fact, you will see in part 2, we have many characters. We have Ramika Sen. I think even in trailer you get goosebumps when you listen to her saying "Duske marenge" and all that.
Exactly.
So we have Ramika Sen. We have another senior actress called Ishwari Garu. There are a lot of female other characters that you will actually see in part 2. I feel that its director decides that I am telling the story, in one perspective. Now it's people who will watch it. So here I believe it's Rocky's story. So obviously Rocky के life में दूसरे characters कैसे जुड़ जाएंगे और कैसे क्या होगा, वो उस दृष्टिकोण में बताएंगे. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the words right.
I love the word दृष्टिकोण. I feel it.
तो उस तरीके में वो बताएंगे. तो जितना रीना का part है उस तो उतना he can showcase, right? Because it has to be relevant to the story. So that you will see in part 2, जितना relevance चाहिए उतना है उसमें. There's no, I feel Prashant Neel is no nonsense, like there's nothing. जितना चाहिए वो है और आपको वो मिलेगा part 2 में. So I think that's beautifully made. That we'll have to wait and watch. Yeah.
Amazing. No, that makes perfect sense. And as you also mentioned that you are debuting in the Tamil language as well with Cobra soon. Another fantastic actor, Vikram, that you're working with. But as I said, that in these 6 years you've now only 3 films old. And considering your Hindi is so fantastic, and so do we see Bollywood coming soon? Do we see anything coming up? Do you have any offers on the table?
I think it's a very good thing that at this time and era we are seeing lines are getting blurred. We are burning the woods.
Yeah.
All the languages. People, the content is what matters. Doesn't matter if it's Korean, Spanish. And right now it's a OTT revolution where you switch on the subtitle and you watch it. If you really like the content, word of mouth, it's everywhere. That's beautiful, and that's, I think, for me right now language is not the problem. In the sense, language is no barrier here. अगर मुझे अच्छा content तमिल में मिलेगा या मलयालम में मिलेगा, हिंदी में मिलेगा, I really would want to like to explore that. I will definitely pick it up. I'm just hoping something really great comes my way and I get to work in such projects. But language absolutely not a barrier. There's
Perfect.
Hindi ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. जो भी मिलेगा, I'm ready to explore.
It is amazing. I think that is how every actor is taking, that approach to absolutely. Just a couple of things to round up, and considering you're so fresh in the industry, I'm sure every actor has these aspirations that I want to do this kind of character, or if I want to work with a dream actor, a dream co-star, a dream filmmaker. Do you have any such things, and if so, who are they?
Um, I did not plan for any of these things to happen. Okay, like the first movie with Prashant Neel, or the second movie with the Vikram sir and Ajay sir. His direction is beautiful. The previous movie that he did was Michael Nautical, which was also very good. So I did not plan any of these things to happen. It just happened. Prashant Neel wanted to meet me for a meeting, and that happened. Then Ajay sir, he watched one of my interviews of KGF, and then he's like, I want to meet this girl and have another movie.
Right.
So I think I am inspired by all the filmmakers and all the actors because I've grown up watching movies. So I really get I have my eyes open wide and with mouth. I'm watching them all the time. So there's a list is long, obviously, but I think since things are happening in its own time and pace, I want these two movies to release and Jo Aayega, and I'm okay. See, there are no clauses ki pan India chahiye, big budget movie chahiye, because I never started off like that. Jo Aaya and things happened well. So I think I'm just going to keep it that way. Jo Aayega will figure out Jo bhi. So it's okay. Then I'm open to all. I would love to work with everybody. I would love to work with some great projects and all of that. So I'm open to all.
No, I'm sure. But as you mentioned that considering we grow up, and we go on to idolize some actors and filmmakers, and even if you be an actor or not, everybody wants to work with, that one actor or that one filmmaker. So any such name that you have, on your list ever?
There are so many, like in Kannada itself, from my industry, there are so
Right.
many actors. Sudeep sir, Darshan sir, we have Rakshit Shetty, so talented. There's many talented actors. Again, in Telugu, if you see, you have so many actors: Allu Arjun, Ramcharan, Junior NTR. I want all of them. Prabhas. I want everybody. In Tamil, we have Talapati,
Yeah.
Tala. In Hindi, we have so many people. We have Ranveer Kapoor, Ranveer Singh, SRK, everybody.
All
Amir
right.
Khan, all of it. So I think give me a chance, I will act with everybody. Yeah, give me a chance, I want to act with everybody. Yes.
Fantastic. Just a final thing rounding up. After KGF and with Cobra in the pipeline, is it something like anything related to the web world which interests you, or you feel that, or because what happens is after you see a particular actor getting such a bang of a start in pan India films, you rightly mentioned that you're not really bound by anything. But do you have anything that will you be open to the web world, or you're just thinking on, okay, I need a bigger project to continue with it?
No. Absolutely. Because I made it clear that there is nothing
Yeah.
bigger project or smaller project. Because and right now, OTT ka revolution is something on another.
Exactly.
I would love to explore even OTT, even the web. I have started with movies, which is fingers crossed going well. I want to do both. I want to explore all the worlds. So I want to do as much as movies, good projects. In fact, it's just good content. I want to do as much as good projects because I keep saying this. People say that 6 years and you just have 3 movies, and I want to say that down the line after 15 years, and if I have only 5 or 8 movies done in my filmography, I want to tell very proudly that I did only what I wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Not for the sake of doing things. So it's okay even if it's just handful of movies, 5 movies or 10 movies. I think quality any day over quantity for me. So I will just pick up if I think this content is good for me. Doesn't matter web or movies. For now, I think I would stick with movies because I started exploring it. So I want to explore it more and probably take it in the path that I get.
Fantastic, and I think that is perfect. I couldn't help but I just have to tell you, you are amazing, and I hope KGF Chapter 2 just continues your fascinating journey ahead. And thank you so much for chatting with me. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for taking your time and doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.